Centaur, your kind of company.
On CTV3 News, former police officer is convicted of drug trafficking and sentenced to 3 years in prison after he was found in possession of drugs here in Orange Walk. Northern bus operators express concern over new transport system. And Belizeans view strange object in the sky. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Tuesday, February 28, 2023.
I am ready. You're getting the new and improved me. This is nice.
I think what really impressed him was the fact that I didn't turn into a monster.
Bring on the heat! Bring on the hate! Start up the gunfire! Whip up the day!
It's about a relationship that hopefully many people can relate to.
Enjoy your favorite HBO original series and movies with
Centaur, your kind of company.
This is our best chance to find a habitable planet.
You're shooting the bullet. You're catching it.
Arrakis is a death trap.
Enjoy your favorite HBO original series and movies with
Centaur, your kind of company.
Good evening with your news, also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. Tonight, Nimra Yama, a 15-year-old Belizean of Orange Walk Town who was reported missing on Sunday, February 26, 2023, is back at home safe, and police are asking our youths to be responsible for their actions. Yama was reported missing after she was last seen at about 7 p.m. on Sunday, after which she lost contact with her family. Police have also announced that 35-year-old Charlotte Jacobs has been found safe. The principal of Hattieville SDA School was reported missing yesterday after sending a troubling text to her husband and then boarding a bus. The Belize Police Department issued a notice shortly after 12:30 p.m. saying that she has been found safe. Former police officer Dion Bellini has been convicted of drug trafficking and sentenced to 3 years in prison. Bellini was sentenced in the Belize City Magistrates Court on Monday by Chief Magistrate Sharon Fraser. The Chief Magistrate told Bellini that she arrived at the guilty verdict after carefully examining all the evidence against him, which included the video footage of his arrest, exhibits showing that there was over 40 pounds of marijuana in his vehicle, and the testimonies of various witnesses. Following the verdict, Bellini pleaded with the Chief Magistrate to impose a fine, even if the fine was double the normal fine for the offense, as opposed to sending him to jail. He maintained his innocence despite the verdict and said that he was a model citizen before he was accused of drug trafficking. Bellini, giving sworn testimony from the witness stand, told the court that he left his home in Bawapan to visit his girlfriend in Orange Walk around 6 a.m. on Thursday, December 24, 2020, and experienced mechanical problems that took him over an hour to address. He left her house around 12:30 p.m. and experienced mechanical problems again, this time stopping at the West Truck compound to try and fix his vehicle. While there, Bellini says he felt like he was about to be robbed when armed men surrounded him and called him by his name to come from under his vehicle. One of them introduced himself as Sergeant Ferguson and told him that a search would be conducted on his vehicle. However, the sergeant tried to handcuff him even before the search was conducted. Bellini says he was arrested moments after for being in possession of over 40 pounds of marijuana. He further said that while he was being processed at the station, Sergeant Ferguson forced him to sign some documents saying that he would not be allowed to communicate with his loved ones if he didn't sign. Bellini told the court that he had some history with two of the officers that assisted in his detention because he had at some point slept with their girlfriends. Bellini further accused those officers of setting him up as he never saw the bags which contained the drugs he was arrested for. Notably, when the officers he made the accusation against testified, Bellini declined to cross-examine them. Bellini, who was formally dismissed by the Belize Police Department in 2020 when he was charged with 2 counts of possession of controlled drugs with the intent to supply to another, said that he intends to appeal the verdict. Over a year ago, the Minister of Transport, Honorable Rodwell Ferguson, had announced that local bus operators would have to upgrade their fleets in order to hold on to their permits. But many bus operators pointed to the fact that operational costs had skyrocketed due to ever-rising fuel prices and that their inability to raise fares was wiping out their profits, thus making it difficult for them to purchase new buses. A few months ago, however, it was reported that several bus operators had started to acquire newer bus models. The pace at which those fleets are being upgraded, however, has been slow. The Minister of Transport, Honorable Rodwell Ferguson, has indicated that upgrading of buses is necessary to improve the transportation services being offered to the public. The hope is that by the end of 2024, all old buses will be off the highway, and that is when a ticketing system that will allow the ministry to monitor the buses as they traverse on the highway will be set in place. Following the government of Belize's latest press release concerning the new standards that must be met as a prerequisite for the granting of bus permits, members of the BBA were far from pleased and decided to organize a press conference to outline their concerns and objections. There, the BBA gave government 72 hours for the chairman of the Transport Board to be removed or else. On Wednesday, February 22nd, Honorable Ferguson scheduled a meeting with the Transport Board, including BBA President Shaw and Secretary Ewart Medson, in hopes of coming to a suitable agreement for all. In addition to keeping track of fees from all companies, there is to be a major reduction in the number of bus lines operating. Therefore, the board agreed that in the span of 6 months, there are to be 2 main bus lines for each district. In order for this to take place, all smaller bus companies in each district are to amalgamate under one of the major bus lines or go out of business. And that is where trouble is brewing, especially here in the north, where there are more than 50 bus companies.
They're saying that they're not being afforded the chance to provide for their families. And most of them gone and then do the investment, what they want to do with the buses. And they just made investments to buy the buses they have from banks. Some of their mortgage off their homes, land. They can't go back to the bank and say, well, we need more money to buy up-to-date bus. Also, one of the topics that came up that was mentioned to us when we met with them, that's when there was that come 2030, the transport system will be shifting again to all electric buses. So we have 7 years more to go all full electric. The members are saying, why not use the buses we're using right now, but upgrade them, newer model, upgrade them, because come 2030 we have to go spend a whole big lot of money again to buy electric bus. And in 7 years we can't pay back no $250,000, $300,000 loan for a bus, especially larger companies. If you have a fleet of 24, 30 buses, you look for an investment about maybe $8 to $10 million. What we're saying is that we need to go back on the table and make we look for this thing seriously, and that the smaller operators are objecting to the mergers, because we already have one large company in the north threatening small operators. They tell us that they don't have agreements. They don't have agreement with the government that they are one of the big operators in the north, and they go to the small operators and tell them, well, I got 10,000 to run, you either take it or you still want to lose it in at the end. And a lot of the small operators that showed up at our meeting yesterday from the north came with that complaint. They really want to define what to do, because like we told them in our meeting, the north will be one of the hardest areas to fix because it's too political. Everybody, whether one bus operator in the north, know a minister, or that some minister help them to get it around with that. So only one thing we could say we agreed upon, where everybody was on board with, and our members are good with that, and that is the person from the bank being on the board and having the bus association have another member on the transport board. The only part with the second member on the transport board from the BVA, they were saying that person was going to go there as an observer, and only when Mr. Shah can make a meeting, then that person will have voting rights. What our members voted for yesterday was that if we send the member there, the member have to have all voting rights, because they go there to represent also along with Mr. Shah.
Okay.
And we have done the person we have asked to represent the bus association has over 50 years experience in the industry. He accepted yesterday that he will be that person, and that person is Mr. Leo Bate. He will bring a wealth of knowledge to the transport board.
The night sky was lit up on Monday evening by a brown, bright object traveling across the region that some described as a strange UFO. It was seen across the country as confirmed by multiple readers, and as far north as Mexico and as far east as Vieques in Puerto Rico. But what was it? We understand that the company SpaceX had earlier launched 21 V2 mini satellites from a rocket known as Falcon 9, which was returning after its deployment. Per Space.com, liftoff from Florida Cape Canaveral Space Force Station took place just after 5 this evening local time, 5 hours later than planned due to weather concerns. The first stage of the Falcon 9 returned about 8.5 minutes later, while its upper stage continued into low Earth orbit, where it will deploy the 21 Starlink satellites 64.5 minutes after liftoff. The satellites are intended to improve internet service ahead of a full-size spacecraft to be launched later aboard the Starship Mars rocket. Per SpaceX founder CEO Elon Musk, each spacecraft will weigh 1.25 tons and be able to send the service directly to cell phones. SpaceX has already announced intentions to do so in 2023 via a partnership with T-Mobile. SpaceX has now launched more than 4,000 Starlink satellites for internet service around the world, and more satellites are coming. The company has regulatory permission to send up 12,000 Starlink craft and has applied for approval to deploy nearly 30,000 satellites on top of that. According to CBS News, the launch of a SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule carrying a 4-man crew bound for the International Space Station that was scheduled earlier as part of a tandem with SpaceX was called off with less than 3 minutes to go early Monday because of trouble with the system used to ignite Falcon 9's first stage engines. Crew 6 commanders Stephen Bowen, Warren, Woody Hoburg, cosmonaut Andrew Federer, and Emirati astronaut Sultan Al-Nadi will make another attempt to launch the Crew 6 mission just before midnight Thursday morning, Belize time. Coming up next, Belize selected to present at FETP International Nights. Stay tuned.
¡Es hoy! ¡Por fin es hoy!
A rodar. ¡Sí, señor! ¡Esto va a estar bueno!
Enjoy your favorite HBO original series and movies with
Centaur, your kind of company.
Am I missing a tooth?
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Enjoy your favorite HBO original series and movies with
Centaur, your kind of company.
LG dual inverter compressor cools air faster by operating at speeds as high as 120 Hz with more stability compared to conventional models. It also saves up to 70% more energy by operating at speeds as low as 10 Hz with more stability. It reduces torque vibration down to 40% for quiet outdoor unit operation. Stable operation with low vibrations also results in increased durability.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
This morning saw the start of the first free BPO industry job preparation training sponsored by the Office of the Mayor and the Corozal Town Council in collaboration with Beltrade. The training participants will be provided with soft skills training and the key job readiness tips to prepare them for a higher success rate when applying for employment in the BPO industry, which is a fast-growing sector in Belize. At this morning's opening ceremony, Mayor Rigo Vellos addressed the participants, congratulating them for taking the step to become better prepared for the labor force. Mayor Vellos explained that the training will give each participant a better understanding of what to expect when they attend job interviews to work at a call center and also better prepare for when they are called for employment. The training is a partnership between the Council and Beltrade through their BTEC office. BTEC manager Sarita Bejarano shared with participants that the training will also prepare them for any future office job, as it will focus on basic professional skills such as time management, office etiquette, computer basics, customer service, and others. The training will last for 9 days, after which the participants will be provided with certificates which can accompany their resumes. The names of the successful participants will also be added to a database that can be accessed by call centers when searching for employees. After 2 years of being held at a standalone virtual event, we are excited to announce that FETP International Nights will return to its traditional format of being in person, held during the Epidemic Intelligence Services EIS conference in Atlanta, Georgia. The annual EIS conference in Atlanta is the nation's flagship applied epidemiology conference, where EIS officers share their work in leading-edge investigations, scientific findings, and forward-thinking strategies to inform improvements in public health, all while gaining valuable presentation experience. Participants engage in professional networking sessions, recognition ceremonies, and various learning opportunities. This year, the entity received 191 abstracts for consideration, and out of those, 8 have been selected for oral presentation and 22 for poster presentation, and among them is Belize. Representing the country will be Javier Novello, medical officer at the Belize Central Prison.
I submitted a paper in November of last year, and on February it was accepted. 191 countries submitted papers, and out of those 191, only 8 countries were accepted. 8 papers were accepted, Belize being one of the countries, and 1 paper was accepted, which is a paper done on COVID-19 in the prison, and that was the paper that was accepted. There is a criteria that they provide to present the paper at the conference. Now, it's a lot of rehearsing for that presentation, but it's basically preparing to showcase your work, preparing to showcase what the prison has done. We successfully mitigated the COVID-19. The study was done from 2020 to 2022, and what was unique about our paper is that we have an inmate-based workforce, at the Medic Center. Because we have limited resources here in the prison, we have inmates that help us work, and that is why this paper is unique, and that is why I believe it is one of the papers that they selected to present.
The 16-page report on effectiveness of COVID-19 surveillance system implementation at the Kobe Foundation from September 2020 to 2022 will be presented orally by Novello, making Belize one of the only Caribbean countries selected for the conference.
The paper that is submitted, it's a summary, it's an abstract, which is roughly about 350 words, but the paper is a 16-page report that was done. I started that in September of last year and ended in November. I submitted the paper through a training that I am doing with collaboration. The Ministry of Health collaborates with the prison, and it collaborated with COMISCA, which is a community of public health ministries in the Caribbean. They're doing a training program for public officers and other individuals as myself here in Belize. I am doing that training, and through that training for epidemiology is how I got to submit the paper. This Congress is basically where you meet other people to collaborate and build a network to help each other on sharing knowledge on how to manage public health. This training is basically trying to enforce public health officers or ministries of health around the world to manage disease outbreaks, to manage climate change, to manage any public health threat. So there at the Congress, presenters will present on their papers. Some will not present papers, they will present posters, and awards will be given to the best presenter. Awards will be given on the best picture. The prison is submitting pictures for a picture contest as well, related to the work that we've been doing, and then there will be awards given on the best picture for the country. So we're hoping that we get an award when we go there.
2023 FETP International Nights will be held on April 25th to the 26th, 2023. The COVID-19 pandemic hit the world hard. While countries are now recuperating from the effects of the pandemic, there will be many stories to tell, especially from countries and entities that felt the wrath of the virus. Here in Belize, the Belize Central Prison went on full alert mode as soon as the first case of the virus was identified in country. That was back in March of 2020. Then the prison acted immediately by placing preventative measures to maintain the virus at bay, which they managed to do until September 2020, when the first case of the virus was diagnosed at the prison. But of all the cases that were identified at the prison throughout the pandemic, there were no deaths or hospitalizations.
Since then we started to mitigate. We started to isolate inmates in isolation units. We designated areas that was a buffer zone for inmates that were newly admitted to the prison, and then we started to separate suspected cases. We started to try to reduce the numbers that were a little bit overcrowded. We paused some program buildings. We even had some prison lockdown that helped us prevent the virus from coming into the prison. So as the inmates were isolated and recovered, they were provided with treatment, then they were returned back to their locations, and that is how we managed to mitigate the virus while it was at the prison.
And so you're saying here that people who were trained in logging symptoms and all of that, so that was happening on a daily basis?
Yes, we did it on a daily basis. We tested within the 2 years around, I believe it's 2,700 plus inmates that were tested, and of those, 417 tested positive during the 2-year period of this study. And of those 417, like I mentioned, no deaths, no hospitalizations.
And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Wednesday, March 1st here on CTV3 and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/CTV3BelizeNews or our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. Remember to wash your hands and remain safe. From all of us here at CTV3 News, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.